Did you go already? Did your presentation? Go right now. Okay. Have fun.
Were you looking for me?
Step out of the way. Go ahead.
Right down there, okay? Whenever y'all get done, come get us, okay?
Read your essay. Yeah. I don't know. Where's your essay?
I think they just ask questions. I don't know.
She said she'd read her essay.
Okay, if you are a parent or someone that is not a junior competition participant, then you need to either step back against the wall. Hey, everybody down there? Okay, we are getting started in a few minutes. Okay, if you are in this hallway, if you are not a participant, then you need to be against that wall. And please, don't talk. Please don't talk. And obviously, this is a very kid-friendly event. But you know, if little ones are like running around or something, just like try to keep them. Let the participants have their, judging moment. So we're gonna get started in a few minutes. So if you could help minimize the chaos, that would be awesome. Thank you. Hey.
So, did you two read over the essay? What's your team name? Let's make sure that.
Go with Krona.
Well, I never read this
Well,
one. Oh, yeah. How do we go in again?
Flat side goes near the spring.
These two schools. It's gonna go on YouTube. Well, yeah, it's already on YouTube.
But
here comes the man.
everybody, so just the kids.
I can't do it. No, hold on. It's okay, just switch it.
Don't worry, yeah, that's Play-Doh. Don't worry about that.
Okay, everybody.
Listen, guys.
We'll do it. Everybody, please. What's about to happen is we're about to start the junior judging. What that means for all of you is that these lovely participants are going to have their moment to shine with judging. So we're hoping that everyone here that's watching leaves hoping by minimizing any sort of chaos. If you need to talk, you're going to want to talk. Then just go somewhere else. All right. You're going to take me out also.
Hello. Live
Excuse me.
Hello.
Really jammed.
So there's a 15 minutes between 2:30 and 2:45.
Nos vamos a ir para abajo a las 2:45 cuando se van a acercar lo más ellos. So we said we might be going down. Los jueces van a empezar como a cierta hora, son diferentes. Pero nosotros van a ser a las 2:45. El alado de los jueces van a empezar a las 10:30. But we'll come back up to your office. So parents will line up on the wall. Oh, entonces sí, se quedó.
You can go and get your laser thing to hold that up. I put mine on back.
Why did you get involved?
I am an engineer.
I've been registered for a while.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube.
You're officially a YouTube star. Excited?
We're on YouTube. And my YouTube channel was deleted. Really bad. It's not pretty.
Hello, everybody. Here's some good models.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, YouTube.
I thought we were gonna say, okay, that's pretty design.
And it was only free.
All right, everybody, this is a 2-minute warning. We're getting started in 2 minutes.
All right, so if you're reading, read fast. Finish up.
2-minute warning.
And let it be quiet so we can read, okay?
Between you two. Excuse me? Between you two. 2-minute warning for you. Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
How are you guys?
Hi.
Hello.
So they're just gonna go, each 10 minutes they're going. Oh. No, you're good. All we do is make sure they're here. Because we're not judged. Yeah. So we'll set our time. And then after like 6 minutes, we tell them the presentation stuff. And after 10 minutes, we tell them the that question.
Group A is going right now, and we'll be going for the next residence. Group B is not here.
That's 2.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's time to get started. I'm gonna give you a countdown. You're welcome to count with me. Can anyone give me a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Woo-hoo, go!
Yeah, I started mine.
Okay,
So when it hits 60,
so why don't you guys give me
yeah, we need to just make sure that they do what she says.
kind of explain to me your model and what it solves? Quick to point it out.
This is a what? Okay. So you generate your electricity from this? And then where does the electricity go from here?
Okay.
How does it go from here?
Got it. Very good. All clean energy. Huh? Okay. LCU, Boston State University. Very nice. LCE. Electricity for energy. Okay, got it. What is this back here?
These are the top 5 now?
They're about to tell who they are.
Welcome to the final round of the North Texas Future City Competition. I'm Randall Moore. I'm not going to tell you who the winners are. I'm just leading the judges. He will tell you who the winners are, the final five. But before you get all excited over that, I would like to introduce the final judges. Our first judge is Ann Santana. Museum festivals and programs, including Engineers Week 2019, which is from February 19th through the 23rd this year. In fact, each competitor today come to the museum this spring, so you can attend it. They're at the check-in desk if you did not get one, so take advantage of that. Engineers Week, which celebrates engineers and engineering, has been a cornerstone event at the museum for over 20 years because the museum recognizes that experiences outside of school can often spark a desire and interest in a child's life that can last a lifetime. As I said earlier to other judges, Ann may not be an engineer, but she's inspired many engineers. So anyway, Ann, our first judge. Our second finals judge is Shar Govindan. Shar was a keynote speaker and a special awards judge for the 2018 Future City National Finals in Washington, D.C., and he's had similar roles at the national finals over the past several years. He's delivered the popular TEDx talk, Do Your How, and is a co-author of many books. He's the director of content management at Bentley Systems Incorporated, which is one of the primary sponsors of the national competition. And he's educated thousands of engineers around the world. Shar is an elected alumnus of University of Connecticut's Academy of Distinguished Engineers, serves on their advisory board, and has completed Project Management Mastery from Stanford University and the Credentials of Readiness program from Harvard Business School. He's also founded the Govindan Family Program, which has awarded several fellowships to engineering students. So thanks, Shar, for joining us.
Thank you.
Our third finals judge is Bill Mustin. Bill is manager of research and development at Encore Electric Delivery Company. It's a regulated electric utility in Texas. He's a member of Encore's corporate strategy and technology group, and the role of emerging technologies to improve electric delivery services is his core work, including the role of energy storage and utility distribution systems, the role and functionalities of microgrids to complement utility distribution services, and the growth of distributed energy resources by utility customers and third parties, and then utility adaptations to accommodate smooth grid operations in the presence of those other technologies. He graduated from the University of Texas at Austin with the BS in Electrical Engineering. Gene, T-SIP2. And a master's in engineering, registered professional engineer in Texas, and a member of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers Power and Energy Society. So, Bill, thanks for joining us, particularly with our emphasis on powering the future for this year's theme. So. Mark Severance is a former NASA engineer and manager. Mark recently retired after 30 years at NASA. For the previous 5 years, he served as the NASA Human Spaceflight Network Director, managing all NASA communications and tracking support for the International Space Station, the Soyuz, and 5 unmanned cargo spacecraft used to resupply the International Space Station. He's had several key technical and management roles in support of the Space Shuttle, the NASA Mir, and the Space Station, the flight controller for the Space Station, and the International Space Shuttle and Space Station, working from Mission Control in Houston. He is an alumni of SMU with a BS degree in Physics and Electrical Engineering, with minors in mathematics and Russian. Holds a master's degree in Physical Science with a concentration in Astrodynamics from the University of Houston. Thank you, Mark. John Wall is our next judge. Now I've got the right page. John is the Vice President of Operations for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing new work at the Brandt Companies. He spent most of the last 3 years as project director on the Christus Spawn Shoreline Hospital project in Corpus Christi. He's worked on several hospitals in the DFW area, including Methodist Addison, Methodist Richardson, and Children's South Lake, while he was employed by Rogers O'Brien Construction, and then several biomedical research projects, including the Regional Biocontainment Laboratory at the University of Pittsburgh, while working for Hunt Construction in Indianapolis. He holds a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology in Terre Haute, Indiana. Thank you, John. Now that you know who's doing the judging, let's find out who's being judged.
Okay, first we'll go over the process that this is going to be. We're going to announce the teams that will move into the finals. For those of you not one of those teams, you're welcome to stay. I suggest that you stay and see what it is that qualifies to make the finals. And I know it's crowded in here and a little hot, so if you like, we will also be doing the live stream into rooms 405 and 105 and 106 down the way, so you can go there. Once you're in this room, though, there's going to be no in and out during the presentation. So get that out of the way. Now, the teams that I announce, I need the entire team, that's the 3 presenters, the teacher, and the mentor, to come down. One of your team members should stop over there where the tables are, right outside the door. You will be drawing a number to determine what sequence you will be presenting in. The rest of the team members should go get their model and bring it up here to get it ready. Okay, we got that? Now, at that point, until you come in and present, you will be sequestered in room 110. That's all 5 team members. Okay? We're going to ask you to give up all forms of communication, cell phones, smartwatches, whatever it is, and you'll be in there until it's your turn to present. After you present, you're welcome to stay and watch the rest of the finals. Okay, we got that? Yeah. Great. Okay, drum roll. Okay. This is in no particular order. So, the first one, Team Kimbali from Colorado. Epic from the Discovery. Yeah!
thought it was interesting.
Is your finger on the speaker?
I'm holding it like this.
Okay, we're trying to figure out the whole mic situation because you can't hear. So you might have to move up here just to get closer away from hearing.
Okay, how far I guess just in the...
I'm watching you. Final, I want to have 4 to 5.
About the mic thing.
Some people at the check-in table will go back. Okay. But it's gonna take like.
Bye, sweetie. Have a good day.
This way.
In the video. There's people going cat.
We're gonna go last. We're gonna go last.
Number 10.
You're gonna get your tape, your model, and put it on.
Table number 2.
They're grabbing the models.
Get him a thing. Number 4. Get your model.
You got your glasses.
Yeah, no, you too. Good job.
Where's the bug? Where's the bug?
Like a tower.
Okay, is everything on? Awesome. What? Boards. So, okay, make sure it's like that facing in. Is it approximately, can you lower this one a tiny bit? What? Amber, here are your glasses. Everything looks good. Good job, I'm loud. I can speak. Okay, we're gonna have to adjust the microphone.
I have two microphones. Do you want one or two?
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Let me know when y'all are ready.
Hi, I'm Sullivan. Yes. We have this. We also have this. And down here, we have this that moves. Wonderful. Thank you. 3 moving parts. Yeah, I'd love City Hall. Okay, wonderful. Great. So it's like a condo, so multiple people live in it. Probably it was meant to be around like 4 stories. From this, you know those bubbles? You know those big bubbles that have we cut the ends off and we added these things. And what's the purpose now that you decided to have greenhouses and they're all
What were these cards before you made them into this?
Well, these were espresso
Okay.
things. And these were like 3D printers where they like 3D printer where the ink is. And these were PVC pipes that we found in our makerspace.
Very nice.
And these are also 3D print parts.
Excellent.
Yes. And you know one of those 50-cent things you can buy with the little rings?
Oh, very cool.
Oh. Sort of we went around and we were like, anyone have some?
Definitely had less than $100. Yeah, well done.
And then these are old computer parts. And there's
Recycle.
dialysis tubes on the
Oh,
side.
wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
very creative.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure to introduce Imperium from the Village School.
Look! I see the monument! Ah, what a mall. It's so humid, tropical, and sunny. Does wonders for my skin.
It's amazing that it could build all this in such a short amount of time. After all, it was only 50 years ago. Isn't that about when you went to prom?
That was a long time ago. I'm not that old. Granny is way older.
Hey! I do remember that earthquake, though. Absolutely terrible. Hundreds of thousands of people died. But look at the city now. True, it is stunning.
Oh, look! The sign says that City Hall is located on a man-made lake, which absorbs the shock of the earthquake-generated waves. And a portion of the lake is a mollusk farm.
A mollusk farm? Why would they have a mollusk farm?
Well, mollusks produce byssal threads, a shock-resistant fiber, which are put underneath the bike routes to absorb the shock of the earthquake. Up the...
Don't say that, Granny.
Tomorrow's Future Day Today. What a cute little line.
It's supposed to be inspiring. Huh, it doesn't look nearly as congested as I thought it would, especially for a population of 1.5 million.
That's because everybody's on bikes, darling. Eco-friendly. Oh my Gucci, we should definitely rent a little bike. It'll be way faster.
But won't Granny's hip combust?
Probably.
No. The surgery I got at the Scamroni Medical Research Center lasts a lifetime. This robotic hip is awesome. OMG! Look at the solar paneled bike roads and the little charging stations. Too bad there aren't cars anymore. Must have been one of the trade-offs. Come on, let's get on.
Don't the solar panel bike routes also power the emergency lighting systems?
Yes, and as I said earlier, there's a thin layer of byssal threads underneath the bike routes to protect them from shattering during an earthquake.
Speaking of the bike routes, the Zhang University, which I'm attending, invented them. They're the leading university in engineering and technology. Oh, and these bikes, they're awesome. They save space, conserve energy, and allow Koreans to stay healthy.
Bragger.
Granny, you're supposed to be pedaling.
No, I'm not. That's why the bikes are electric.
Maybe we should get off for a while. I think Granny's getting tired.
No, I'm not.
Definitely.
Whoa, look at those houses. They look like sunny side up eggs, and there's springs under them.
Well, I read in the news the other day that those springs, they're the new trend for building houses. They absorb the shock during earthquakes and wiggle to move with the building. The dome shape of the building also allows it to stay intact. And it also has a super shock-proof platform.
I hope my dorms are that stable.
Look! I see an energy grid. It sits on water. Supposedly, it's safer and more durable because of the water. We should have that in America.
Yes, water keeps the grid stable and cools down the modules. So there's no...
They even have backup generators for when the power gets interrupted. And they have backup energy sources too.
And it even says here...
Granny, a book? Really? We're not in the Middle Ages.
Don't be so mean to your granny. Thank you. It says here that in 2018, scientists tried to transmit energy through multiple radio frequencies, but only transmitted enough energy to power a smartwatch. Now, because of the supercapacitor, the radio frequencies are strong enough to collect energy and send it to buildings and homes wirelessly.
That's only been done here and in China.
And it's awesome because it eliminates the need for pylons and electric poles. You don't want one of those falling on you during an earthquake.
That's for sure.
Oh, look! There's the maglev! So fast.
Yeah, maybe we should get on one of those. It's getting pretty late.
Or were you in a rush?
I wanted to see the university before we started on Monday. That's
Right,
yeah.
Fair enough. Come on, let's get on the elevator. But I don't get it. Why would they have a maglev in a city where there's so many earthquakes?
Well, they use gyroscopic technology and shock-absorbent materials to keep a stable base. And those orange things right there, they stay intact during an earthquake.
Gyroscope, what?
Gyroscopic technology.
It's basically like in Star Wars, The Return of the Jedi, they used a camera that even when someone was running, the camera would stay in focus. Same principle.
Star Wars?
You didn't get to experience the beauty.
Whatever you say.
Oh, on the maglev.
Oh my gosh, look at that waterfall, so clear.
Yeah.
Look, there's even a zip line. I want to do that. What about you, Granny?
Oh, I'd love to get this
Granny
hip.
can't do that. Her hip will break.
I especially love the beautiful view of the city from up here. Oh, look, there are the greenhouses. It says here that the main economy is based on agriculture. Must be flourishing. Look at all that food. So tall.
Look, it says here that that mirror is to reflect the sunlight so that the sun can get to the bottom story. And those white poles, they're elevators to get to the second floor.
Like the ones we just took?
Exactly.
I still don't get it though. Elevators, second floor, earthquakes, kinda stupid.
Yeah. Oh, it says here is to save space. And the white poles have shock-absorbing materials inside them to keep the base stable, along with gyroscopic technology, like Mom said.
And do you see that Jumbotron? It must be vintage back from the 80s.
Actually, no. It's so the period can see what's going on inside the greenhouses.
Look, right here.
Already?
That was so
Fastest train
fast.
I've ever been on.
Whoa, the university. So big.
Look at all those different buildings. There must be so many majors you can choose from.
Look, and the trade school.
Yeah. I especially love that there are emergency centers all throughout the city. So even during an earthquake, Empyreans can stay safe and healthy. Huzzah!
And look at those bases. I read that it will stay along with the building during an earthquake and it will shake together so that way it doesn't crack. It's so cool.
Wait, darling, don't you want to visit the university?
Yeah,
Let's take it for a while.
Yeah. Remember this day forever.
It's not that hard.
Say, welcome to Imperium!
Welcome to
Imperium!
ball and chain.
First of all, we had some problems choosing like what disaster to choose from because there were so many. And then for deliverables, we needed to decide like what materials, and that was difficult.
We also had a hard time figuring out what type of transportation we were going to use because high-speed trains, as you can see, they're raised. It doesn't really make that much sense to have it so high up, especially during earthquakes. But we discovered about gyroscopic technology, and we decided to implement it into our transportation.
And also our energy grid, because that's a main part of the city, so we wanted to make sure we had a sustainable and innovative energy grid that could collect as much energy as we needed, as well as keeping being safe and durable during an earthquake. So we decided that we would have a solar-powered energy grid that sits on water.
Yeah, and the transmission of the energy itself, we had to rack our brains and find something that would not like collapse or break down even during an earthquake.
So you have a, thank you for that.
Keeps the grid stable even during an earthquake, and it cools down the modules so there's no overheating. And the bottom of it to make it float is like buoy shaped, and I personally think that that was very innovative of us to push the boundaries and basically put our solar panels on water.
We also we deliver energy wirelessly. So right now that's not like something widely used and it's not strong enough, but hopefully 100 years later, which is where we are now, it will be strong enough to power the whole city.
Thank you.
Our housing is very resilient. We have dome-shaped buildings all over the place because dome-shaped buildings help the structure keep itself intact. We also have shock-resistant platforms, and we have springs embedded into the ground so that the building moves with the earthquake, so there's no collapsing.
And as well as our solar panels on water, our city hall and main government buildings are also on water. And then again, the gyroscopic technology on the poles.
And then we also use solar panel bike routes that underneath them they have bicycle threads, so we have a mollusk farm in our lake, and we collect bicycle threads from them, which is a shock-resistant fiber, and we place them under the bike routes so they're safer and more durable during earthquakes. And then we also use a kinetic...
Good job.
Yeah, as soon as they start picking it up, I don't like stores.
Remember, there's a step to get up to the seat. That's right. Look up. Look up higher.
I'm one of the guards that table.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Same rule, once the judges get up to go.
think it shows them all better? Yeah. If y'all are ready for to come up, I'll have you come up and you can show them your. Okay.
Alright, we're ready.
Okay. By the way, I personally like the ruler bridge there.
So, thank you so much.
I'm gonna turn on the moving part for a quick second.
Okay.
No, I already tested them. Don't worry. I might do it for the live stream. Okay, so these are actually parts of a drone that we're had to detach and then put Legos up through the middle and then wrap it around plastic. One of our team members was actually mostly in charge of that, but she told us basically what she did. So all of our lights and moving parts controls are in the back of the presentation right there. So it's about I think it's seven different switches to turn on and off. All of the lights going on right now.
And also that little water turbine spins like separately from that.
Yeah. And then since they are part of the drone, we can actually make each of the moving parts get slower and faster. This knob right here. We can make it go
Okay.
That's really cool.
What is the scale of your model?
1 inch equals 20 feet.
Okay.
Be able to keep that consistent.
Yes, there isn't this. I don't think there's something in it that's not that.
And what were these before they were made into these parts?
Well, so that thing is a label maker.
Yep, I see that.
And that represents our police station. And then this our energy accumulator and our and this little piece right here is actually part of a hairdryer.
Oh, nice.
And these parts right here are all part of computers, of like circuit boards. This is actually part of the ACE, like the cooler, so it doesn't overheat. And then this was the main circuit board. And we actually had to take apart the computer ourselves to build it.
This is part of a like box or I don't remember like the casing, like plastic. Or like they get along with plastic.
And actually, two of our members on our team that didn't make it, actually one, here's one up there, Connor. He actually won the national level in GCC, and in their model, they used, it wasn't these parts, but it was the same company that donated them to us. Their name is Sensitile, so they donated their free staff to us, and yeah, so that helped a lot.
What's the capacity of the hotel?
So our total population is about 600,000 people in our entire city. Our hotel can accommodate, I think it's 200 rooms with, I think each room can hold about 4 to 8 people. Or well, like in larger spaces. So it's basically, we have labels on it.
So this thing's sort of like
Lighthouse Org, it's also used for work or they were using the size of grass. actually, another thing to add to our power grid is this it's a piece, piezo electric switch to create energy cars driving over it from friction and cracking crystals to create that. Thank you. It was very nice of you all. It was very nice of you.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, I'm the earthquake that destroyed San Francisco in 2023. I have a big reputation, and I'm quite proud that I managed to destroy one of the greatest cities in the world. For the last 100 years, I've been waiting patiently as these silly humans had the nerve to rebuild in the same location. I think it's time to do some more damage, so I've decided to listen in on a mayoral press conference where they were talking about surviving another me. Yeah, right, like that will happen.
As the mayor, I'm proud to introduce you to Okrona, which means protection in Polish. As we know, we completely rebuilt our city and made it resistant to natural disasters as well as attractive to residents and companies. Our 650,000 citizens love Okrona each and every day, and our population is booming by about 100 people per day. We started by completely rebuilding our power grid. It was the destruction of our power grid that was the downfall of San Francisco back in 2023. Our team of civil and electrical engineers have come up with an innovative way to keep the city operational and running in the aftermath of another earthquake. Here's our lead electrical engineer, Connor, to discuss the system we have in place.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first major change is that we generate all of our energy using renewable sources such as wind, solar, and wave power. We have several small facilities throughout Okrona, some in the bay, some underwater, and some in the city. This way, rather than having all of our power put in one large plant that can be knocked down in the case of an earthquake, we have several small plants so that even if one gets knocked down, there are still several more to back it up.
They're smarter now. At first they tried setting up another traditional power grid, but I tore that thing down. I guess they used the engineering design process to create a more redundant power grid.
And if you walk around Okrona, you'll notice a complete lack of power lines. We have developed a system where we can transmit energy wirelessly through ultrasound waves.
We call it ultrasound and intertransmission, or USET for short. The energy is sent to one of the many substations where it's converted from normal energy into ultrasound waves, and then it is sent to one of the many homes and buildings throughout Okrona where it's converted back into electricity.
Wait a minute, did he say no power lines? Back in the good old days, I could hit the power plant, the high voltage wires, the substation, the low voltage wires, anywhere along that path, and a good part of the city would be down for the count. It was so easy.
We've also worked with Tesla to develop batteries to place in homes and buildings to store electricity for future use. These batteries can be charged for USET and can hold power for days at a time. One battery will power an average home for 5 days, 40 batteries will power an average home for 6 months, 80 batteries will power a home for a year.
Okay, Connor, we can do math too, okay?
I'm sorry, I just love our power grid.
Well, that's too bad. Their power plants are too spread out for me to hit them all at once, and there aren't even any wires for me to snap. That's not fair.
And finally, we have put power generation methods on every home and building. With wind turbines and solar panels adding more redundancy into the grid, we can take advantage of our moderate climate and amazing beaches as we put power generation methods on a smaller scale.
I feel like if I made an attempt to do some serious damage to the city, the only thing that would be damaged is my pride. But this must have all been very expensive. I'm sure no one can afford to live here.
Now, I know some of you are wondering how we've done this and how expensive the system must be. There have been some trade-offs such as a large upfront investment, but as we mentioned before, we've partnered with some of the leading companies such as Amazon and Tesla to help minimize the risks.
Now the batteries do have a lifespan of 20 years, so there will be a sizable expense when it comes to replacing them. They currently cost about $800 or so, but we anticipate that they will become less expensive as technology improves as time goes on.
Once the power grids were in place, next step was to have solid roadways, stable bridges, and amazing buildings. For example, we used parts of the old San Francisco Bridge to build our new one.
Oh, I destroyed that old thing.
And we renamed it New Bridge. It is a piezoelectric road that allows traffic to actually add to our power grid by vibrations from the road. It's also tethered to the bottom of the ocean and is built primarily from nickel titanium to absorb the stress imposed by an earthquake.
Wow, all of their engineers played a part. Their mechanical engineers built and designed the earthquake-resistant buildings, their electrical engineers designed the power grid, and their chemical engineers designed the solid-state batteries. They're just too good.
And once we had all the infrastructures in place, the next step was to attract people. I mean, which was actually pretty easy. I mean, who could resist beautiful parks, amazing coastlines, a mix of residential and commercial areas in the eye-pleasing industrial zone?
Exactly. You can see that in our model here, which is a scale of 1 inch equals 20 feet.
The Corona schools are also some of the best in the country. My kids are actually having fun at school right now. It's a miracle. The Underwater Sea Hotel was also an amazing experience. Now, I'm gonna warn you, it was a little weird waking up and seeing a fish staring right back at you, but it was incredible.
Ooh, that hotel sounds like a fun target.
In the event of an earthquake, the hotel will ride the waves back to shore, having all citizens be safe. And just in case of a tsunami, the hotel can anchor itself to the bottom of the ocean and provide as a barrier to the rest of the city.
My sister Tsunami's not gonna like that.
Companies were drawn to Corona. It is an ideal location with a promising future. Companies like Amazon and Tesla pledge to stay here and offer jobs to the community. Corona also offers many jobs from education, government, services, and engineering.
And transportation work has become so much easier with our trolley system and our public car service. Remember the iconic San Francisco cable cars? We gutted them and put in maglev train engines to create a new above the roads. The elderly love all of our systems of transportation and use them every day to get from building to building.
Okronians are very happy with the less traffic congestion and lower pollution levels. With state-of-the-art waste management facilities and police stations and fire stations carefully situated throughout the city to have quick response times. Okrona's hospitals also are equipped with the latest technology and drone landing pads for quicker access.
Well, Mayor, it looks like we did it. Okrona really lives up to its name. Our citizens are happy, healthy, and safe.
Okrona is definitely a happy place. Well, it looks like our time is up. I say we shake, rattle, and roll out of here.
You crack me up. I'm quaking with laughter.
These Okronians are just mocking me now. I'm gonna go to Hollywood where they still make scary movies about me.